I'm a disability rights lawyer at Equip for Equality in Chicago, and I'm here to share a few thoughts on what the ADA means to me. Sometimes I think I've benefited from some really lucky timing in my life. I became a person with a disability as an adult when I suffered a freak injury that ultimately left me blind. Well, that part in itself wasn't particularly lucky, and the transition to life with a disability was challenging. Sometimes it's still not easy. But the lucky part was in the timing. I became blind about 10 years ago, which means 20 years after the passage of the ADA. I think that my transition and my life with a disability would have been much more difficult before the ADA existed. Indeed, many of the people I've spoken with who experience that reality have told me that this is so. The ADA recognizes my right to live fully in the world, legally, professionally, and personally. It guarantees my civil rights in all things and places throughout this country. Thanks to the ADA, I rarely have to feel the pain and shame of exclusion based on my disability. But we all must remember that the ADA does not enforce itself. We, as people with disabilities, often shoulder a heavy load in advocating for our rights, as what the law says on paper often differs from what happens in the real world around us. Where people or communities are apathetic about the rights and independence of people with disabilities, we have to speak up and take action. Otherwise, nothing changes, and the promise of equality under the laws remains unfulfilled. Unfortunately, there remain many in our society who continue to dismiss the ADA as an unfair burden to businesses and an inconvenience to the able-bodied, just for the purpose of providing some token assistance to a sliver of society that somehow doesn't need or deserve it. This is a false and dangerous narrative, one which dehumanizes us as people with disabilities and which questions our very right to live fully in the world. We must always challenge those misperceptions and educate others that the ADA is a human-centered law meant to protect and empower all of us, and which recognizes the determination and resilience which those of us with disabilities live our lives. I have a deep debt to the disability rights advocates who long ago paved the way for the ADA. While I could never repay that debt, I will always do what I can to pay it forward by being a champion of the rights and freedoms for which the ADA stands. I hope that you will too.